Yeah, okay, time to live free. Plenty goals I'm achieving. Some real life topics and talking financial freedom. Mindset, soul and love, everything in between. This is Freedom Podcast. Tune in, live free. Hey, got my mindset right and I got the drive. Planning one day, no more job, no more 9 to 5. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. This is freedom. Tune in, cause it's going down. Woo!
Hi, this is Anna and welcome to another episode of your Freedom Podcast. In this episode, I interviewed Patrice Jackson. Patrice is a self-love and body confident advocate. She's also a virtual assistant and PA. She is an amazing character. I super love this interview and I'm sure you will listen and find out why. So hi Patrice, it's really good to have you on the show.
Hi, yes, it's really good to be on your show. I'm super excited to talk to you and get to know you as well.
Yeah,
Have this conversation.
And as I was just saying before I click record, that I'm loving all these connections that I'm making all over the world. And when I first put this podcast together, I was going to get a professional studio here in the UK, but actually I'm so glad that I didn't kind of follow this perfection thing that we do, because I wouldn't have been able to connect with the people that don't live in the UK. And I know you're in Ohio and it's morning time for you and it's afternoon here in the UK. So it's just really awesome to kind of connect with all these different people.
So, right, you get different perspectives too, especially when you're all over the world,
Exactly. Because we all have different perspectives depending on our upbringing, our journeys in life, or our experiences, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's super, super cool. So I know that you're a virtual assistant, PA, but you have a real focus on self-love and body confidence. Well, you're a self-love body confidence advocate, which is really, really great because it's something that I talk about a lot on the show, and I talk about my 3 pillars. So because it's the Freedom Podcast, I talk about freedom in love, which is all about self-love, and also kind of it's not necessarily romantic love, but it can be, because it's about the care that we look after us, more around the care about ourselves, and also the love that we give out into the world, the energy and all that kind of stuff. Freedom in money as well, because it's not all about money. But when I was sort of struggling financially, the seesaw balance was a little bit stressful. And then freedom in mind, because, I'm not keen on the word. Everyone hears me always say this, but it kind of just went with love, money, mind, if I'm honest. But mindset it's bigger than the word mind.
Right.
It's not, for me, it's not about being positive all the time. It's just it's recognizing that you can have a bad day or something bad can happen externally, and it's how you can navigate through that or get through that and just know that it's a moment in time or it's a bad day and tomorrow's going to be different. And those 3 pillars have kind of helped me get equilibrium, I suppose, in my life, because there's never such a thing as perfect balance, because we know that it's different. People talk about balance, but I just think it's so difficult to get a perfect balance. But I've noticed when I wasn't looking after myself, being a single parent, looking after the boys, just do and not having that self-care or self-love, the balance was like that. When I was struggling financially, the balance was like that. And then mindset just sort of encompasses the whole thing, really. So I was going to ask you whether you can relate to any of those things that I'm saying. I'm sure you can.
But yeah, I really can. And I like the fact that you have those 3 pillars. You have your mind, your money, and then just the love that you have for yourself. And because they all affect each other, right? Because if you are at a place where you're not feeling like you love yourself, or you're feeling down and maybe you are depressed or anything like that, you tend to, forget about yourself, of course, right? And it is so at some point, that can affect your money, because either one, you're not going out and you're not working, or a lot of people will emotionally eat, and that costs a lot of money. So all of those things do go together. And then, like you said, trying to find the balance, like you said, it's not a real thing, right? You cannot have just say, okay, I'm going to give 10% here and 10% there. Some things you have to, they fluctuate, right? Maybe sometimes you have to give a little bit more to your job, or a little bit more to your children, or a little bit more to your community projects. So
Mm,
you just have to know what's priority at the time, and
exactly.
then go from there. You know, and I think that's one of the things for me, in my journey to self-love, is finding out what's important, why it's important, and when do I need to put focus on that. And when I mess up or whatever, don't feel like it's, don't feel bad about it. Just dust yourself off, or regroup, and start all over again.
Exactly, exactly. I think there's just so much society pressure, isn't there? And now with like the digital age, with social media, influencers, TikTok, I sometimes really feel for like my children who are teenagers now, because it's the pressures is a lot different than, I'm showing my age now, but it's a lot different than when I was a kid, because I didn't have a mobile phone as a kid. It just, people are just not being that, but just being, really, just allowing themselves to be.
Mm-hmm.
Just we're always like trying to like be. I think a lot of people trying to be something that
Something that
they're
they're
not.
not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you get into kind of like this focus on self-love and body image and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I'm gonna say, okay. So I've always been a chubby little girl, all my life, right? And so, you know, before, I mean, it is starting to change a little bit now, but being a bigger human, was never something that people, they, even though you're a bigger human, you still get looked over, right? Even though you don't, they don't allow you to take space. And so I realized that this is who I am, and this may be how society sees me, but I'm more than just my size, right? I'm
Yeah.
a virtual assistant, I'm an aunt, I am a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter, I'm all of these things. I'm funny, so um
Yeah.
I realized I'm like, I'm more than all of these things. And, I had allowed society to dictate how I should show up in the world, right? And I was missing out on so many different experiences and, excuse me, opportunities, because I was allowing someone else to dictate who I was and what I can and cannot do. And so along the way, I did lose my mother and my grandmother. And when I lost my mother, it really took a toll on me. I mean, to the point where it just really took on my mind, my body, everything.
Yeah.
And as I was starting to get through that grief and work through my grief, um, excuse me, I realized I needed a place to vent, a safe space, and feel comfortable. And I didn't know where that was at, right? Because even though they say it's a safe space, sometimes it's really not, right? You get, so I was like, okay, well, let me do this. I started a Facebook group, and I just started posting positive things. And I was inviting people like, hey, if you need positivity, if you need support, if you need whatever, come join this group and let me know what you need, and I will find it and bring it there. And it was so amazing because we would have people in the group who were supporting each other's, they were opening new businesses and they were supporting them. People were, I remember one time it was a lady, she was 6 years sober. And I posted it in the group and everybody was like, congratulations, that's amazing. People that she did not know outside of this group were encouraging her. And I don't think people really realize how much that can impact someone when you have people just congratulating you and
Yeah.
showing you support and loving on you and pouring into you. And that's how I started. I needed it myself. And so I created it and they ran with it for me.
Yeah. I think that's really beautiful, because I think our personal journeys can really help other people.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and especially community, like you say. Sometimes
Mhm.
I've seen women when they get together be really supportive, and then other times I've also seen a real like bitchiness as well.
Right,
So,
exactly.
I mean, sometimes I agree with women, it can go one way or another. But generally, I think if we support our sisters, we can
Mhm.
really like create more. We empower each other more. And
Mhm.
also, it's not just a sex thing, men as well, just community. And like
Mhm.
you said, and support you going through
Nurturing.
it is something. I think the more humble and real we are, the more people support you. It's when we're trying to be someone that we're not, or like you say, fit into society's things. It's not going to make us feel good because we're never going to be what this little box tells us that we need to be. And I learned that not worrying about what people thought about me. Obviously, we all bother about what people think about us to an extent, but not letting that take over and doing what being more focused about other people than focusing on what we really want. Do you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I think it's so important. So for people who are listening to this right now or
Mhm.
watching us on YouTube, hello, it, and if someone is in a bit of a dark place and they're stuck, whether that be it could be a body confidence thing with them, like you felt, being sort of bigger than what society should tells you should be, or someone who is grieving, or somebody that has gone through a divorce or a difficult relationship, lost their job, whatever it is, because there's all sorts of different things. Maybe they're going through a health condition themselves and they're feeling stuck and they're feeling down and depressed. Is there any tips that you want to share with them to help them kind of take those first steps out of feeling stuck, really?
I do. The first thing is, if you can, get off social media. Get
Yeah.
off social media for just for a little. Just take a break, because that, I'm a social media manager, so I know. So I'm always on there, But even I would have to take a break sometimes, because one, when you're on social media, you can go through so many emotions, right? Because you may be scrolling on your social media, and then you may see, oh, someone got married, oh, someone had a baby, oh, someone passed away, or someone got divorced, So, and then you go back and look at the ocean. I want to go on vacation. So you go through all these emotional changes in this matters of seconds. That is not healthy. I'm not a therapist, so I don't want to say, that I'm an expert on this, but I know for a fact, personally, it's not healthy to see so many different emotional changes like that. So get off social media for a little while. Just take a break. Even if you have to be on there all day for whatever reason, go off, go listen to some nice music, go for a walk, do something that makes you smile every day. I don't
Right.
care if it's nothing but maybe, you know, listening, watching a comedian or something, just something that was going to make you smile, because doing that really does change your mood. And then another thing with social media, if you are on social media, follow people that encourage you and pour into you. Like for instance, my social media, I follow other bigger humans, right? That, are confident. So that way, when I'm scrolling my social media, I do see people who look like me, or, experience things like me, to let me know that I am not the only one, right? Because that's big, to know that, okay, you think that you're going through this thing, like, oh my God, nobody is going through this. And then you be vulnerable enough to put it out there. And then you have like hundreds of people like, oh my God, that happened to me too. I feel the same way. You're like, what? Oh my God, it's not just
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
and that's really important. So if you are going to be on social media, or once you get back on social media, surround yourself with people who are like you, or that think like you, or that pour into you. And you do the same thing outside, like your friends should be, I always tell my friends, like, hey, yes, we can go out and we can have fun and do all of those things, but that's a bonus of our friendship. A real friendship is that when you're down, I can pick you up, and vice versa. And if you are, feeling bad about yourself, I can tell you all those things that are making you such a wonderful person. And, sometimes people surround themselves with people who, oh, well, we have a good time, but they're not good people. They don't encourage
yeah.
them, they
They're
don't lead
there for the
them.
good times, but not there for you when
Yeah,
the
yeah.
shit
So I
hits
just
the
really,
fan,
yeah.
so to speak. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly. Like that was the biggest thing for me, is just surrounding myself with people who understood me and or loved me loved me even though I was depressed and I was grieving and or I wasn't having a good day. They still love me and poured into me, and that's really important.
Yeah, yeah. And you say right, because I know when I've, you know, like things when when you're not in a good place, you see things on social media that trigger you, and you can get into these like arguments or debates about something. And actually, really, it's more about you. We need to do more work on ourselves. But
Yes.
but at the time, we're like, oh, they're so bad and they're so mean and or that they've got it wrong or and we're like that it's them, there's the blame thing. But actually it's if we've done more work on ourselves, then we wouldn't allow it to trigger us, if you know what I mean. So you were so right, like following the people that kind of inspire you or encourage you or are kind of like your tribe,
Yes, exactly.
are the ones that you're then in the right place. Because like again, like you say, social media could have literally within an hour a whole world of different emotions. I also totally agree with the getting outside thing, because I remember a moment in time where I was just like dropping the boys off at school, coming back to bed, and my commitments with work were keeping me going, not letting other people down. But if there was ever a gap, I just wanted to sort of like curl up into a ball. Do you know what I mean? And I remember someone saying to me, "Just get out some fresh air," and I was just like, "I don't want to go out fresh air." Do you know what I mean? I was like, I made myself, and it always made me feel so much better just getting out. Even if it was just for like 15, 20 minutes, it can do you a world of good. Or even there were days where I just didn't feel like I just didn't want to see anybody, bump into anybody, and felt like if I went outside, I was going to bump into people. There's a lady that I had on recently on here that was talking about movement. So even just like putting a song on, like remember a favorite song for when you're like 18 or something like that, and just put a song on and just move and just dance, which you might feel a bit silly doing, but actually that movement helps with all of your, I can't remember the reasons because I'm not an expert on movement, but it kind of helps the chemicals in your body move around, and it helps you feel a lot better, whereas just sitting and kind of lazing around is going to make you feel worse.
Right.
So yeah,
I like the dancing part, because even when have you ever like been outwards to dancing, and sometimes you feel like you have to do the moves that are popular or not really beautiful. But sometimes if you are just in your bedroom and you put on your favorite song and you just jumping up around and just arms are flailing all over around and you're just kicking and doing whatever your body do, that is freedom, right? You can just do whatever you want to do. You don't care about how you look, and you're just like, I'm having a good time. This is my song, and it is just bringing me so much joy. That's it. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. And it is. It's like, what do they say? That I've seen quotes where it says, "Dance like nobody's watching." So
Watching.
do it. Dance like nobody's watching, because it's going to make you feel good. So yeah, I love all of that. So tell us a little bit about how you can help people, because I know you are a virtual assistant and a personal assistant. What do you help online businesses, or who is your ideal client?
Well, okay, so basically, I tell my clients, which are usually entertainers, entrepreneurs, busy executives. Yeah, I usually tell them I sweat the small stuff, right? I have, since I was a little kid, loved playing office and stationery, and like those are my things, the administrative thing that I've always loved it. So, I come in to people who have like different businesses. Like for instance, one of my clients is a personal trainer, and she is amazing. Shout out to Candace Hall. She's an amazing, amazing trainer, and but she doesn't want to do the business stuff outside of her business, because she works on people, encouraging them and empowering them to live healthy lifestyles. So I come in behind the scenes and do all that stuff for her, so that way I use my purpose, my gift to the world, so that she can focus on her gift to the world. And that's what I do for my clients. I'm all about purpose, and I believe that when people find their purpose and they start to pursue it and work within it, that's a peace of mind. So I'm all for helping people like be able to have that peace of mind to focus on their purpose. and let me do. And I love to do it, right? So I love to do that stuff. Take all that administrative back office stuff off your plate.
I love that. I love that. And I bet there's loads of different skills thinking. I bet you're a Canva queen. I can feel that you're a Canva queen.
Yeah, I do love Canva. Yeah, I do love Canva. I love social media. Like I've always been a marketing nerd. So
Yeah.
like when I'm watching movies or TV shows, I watch it, but I'm also looking for product placements. I love to see product placements, or if I'm watching a commercial, I'm looking like, oh, I could have did that commercial better. You know, so
Yeah,
that's me.
it's like watching the QVC channels. I love those because, like, obviously a lot of my students do Amazon, so I always get ideas and think, oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I could do that, but I could like bundle it with this, and
Exactly.
ideas on there, and they're always really cheesy, aren't they? Like the QVC channel. Yeah, so brilliant. So anyone listening to this who is running a business, expanding their business, starting their business, that needs that support so they can, like you say, can focus on their unique gift really in the world and focus doing what they're good at. And to be honest, this podcast wouldn't have been put together if it wasn't for I've got a couple of VAs. One of my VAs who's really cool at editing. Editing is her thing, and also graphics and all that kind of thing. And I know she'll be listening. She'll be editing the. Thanks to you, Milgan. And it enabled me to be able to focus on like the interviews and do all that kind of stuff, you know. Because it would just take me too long to get all the episodes done, and they'd never get done. So without having that support and you can grow faster, you can do things, you can be more productive, I think, as like a team. And I think this day and age as well, again, virtually we can do so much, can't we? So if anybody, I know I have a mixture of followers that are in different global locations. So anyone listening to this who's needing a VA right now, what is the best way to reach out to you, Patrice?
Well, you can basically reach out to me on social media. I am Miss Savvy Pro, so that's MSSAVVYPRO on all social media platforms. Like you can find me. Just send me a message, and I'll be happy to give you a quote, talk to you. Like I said, I love marketing, entrepreneurship. So even if you have a question, just reach out to me. If I got an answer, I will give it to you, or I will find someone who does. And that's basically the name of my company is Savvy Professionals, and that's it. Oh, you can find my website is the best one is to go to bit.ly / find purpose here. And I also have like a book that I have called lunch break, how to be more productive on your lunch break. So I will give that link to you so that you can share with your audience. It's totally free, and it's a way for you to get some more hours in your day.
Brilliant, great stuff. Love it, love it. So we will include everybody again watching us on YouTube. You'll see it in the comment section, all of those links that Patrice mentioned. And if you're listening to us on any of the podcasting channels, you'll be able to see all those in the show notes as well. So it's been great getting to know you. Really, really good to connect with you. I know you were saying you've got one of your clients that I'm interviewing as well. So we'll have them all on the show. If anybody wants to get their voice heard and get their business out there, and also importantly to kind of share those things that have helped them on the journey as regards to kind of like our mindset and not worrying about all the stuff that we worry about that is unnecessary, I suppose. And being able to live that freedom lifestyle. So I always ask everybody, what does freedom mean to you?
Means that I can live in this world without the way I want to be able to share my gifts without judgment or without judgment, just so I can be able to and be able to meet more people like you and just live my life, just have fun. Like I just want to be able to have fun, share my gifts, and find joy and give joy to other people.
Love that. Oh, it's really sweet. I love it. So it's been fab having you on the show. Do reach out to Patrice if you are. I reckon you're more than a VA. You are a VA, but I reckon you fluff people up and make them feel good as well, the people you work with.
Yeah, I love to encourage my clients.
Yeah. So if you need a VA with a special zhuzh with, supportive and empowering kind of attitude, then definitely reach out to Patrice, and all her details are in the show notes. And also you'll see my editor keeps saying to me, you're not mentioning the book that everybody can get. There's a book that I put together called, there's loads of different books I've done, but there's one in the show notes called, it's all about manifestation with visualization. Because when I was in my difficult years and I felt stuck in a really dreadful marriage, if I'm honest, I kept visualizing getting out of that. And I always love Whitney Houston. And Whitney Houston's track Step by Step, if you know it, was the one that I kept playing and playing and playing over again. And whenever I play it now, it does get me emotional, because it was all about step by step, you'll get there, you'll get to your destination. And even now, just say the words gives me like shivers. But it's true, if we visualize where we want to get to, we're just going to keep taking those small steps. So there's a book that I've put together that's all about that, which you can download completely free, and that'll be in the show notes with all of Patrice's details as well. But it's been fab having you on the show. Yeah, great to have you on the show, and great to connect with you. And if I can help you in any way, do reach out to me.
Thank you. It was fun on the show. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Your Freedom Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and subscribe on my YouTube channel. And if you want to get more freedom in your life, then come and join Your Freedom Project Facebook group, which the link is below in the comments section. And I am giving you a copy of my visualization manifesting book. So manifest more freedom in your life and live the life of your dreams.
Hey, thank you for listening. Hope you had a blast. Here to elevate your life. It's the Freedom Podcast. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. Wanna see you all win. Wanna see you all shine. Just make sure that you subscribe. Bringing good vibes. Join the Facebook group. Now it's time to change your life. Hope you come back. Right now is the chance. This is an experience. It's the Freedom Podcast. Hey.